What is up guys, my name is the Eagle Soars and welcome to some Battlefield 3 gameplay. Once again, we are playing on back to Kark and we are playing on Sharky Peninsula, the map that I like to call the fish map because it is called Sharky after all. That is a really crude joke, but I'm going to move on anyways. I really don't understand why it's got a Q in it. I think it's kind of grammatically incorrect in English terms. I suspect the name is actually probably Arab, but I'm going to continue anyway, saying that it is grammatically correct because there's no U after the Q. I like rhyming shit as well. It's very interesting, very exciting, except it isn't. Now, obviously, the bigger news in terms of Battlefield is the patch notes and the new patch release. Obviously, I've got to talk about that. It's like a rule. It's like a freaking rule. It's Battlefield 3. You've got to, you know. Every time there's a new patch, it's incredibly exciting news because we don't get big patches very often. Let's be honest. But I'm not gonna, do what everyone else is inevitably going to do and milk the patch notes and read them all out. But what I am going to do is I'm going to talk about what the significant changes are and what they mean to me. But the summary of all that, in case you cannot be bothered to watch all of it, is that Battlefield 3 is now playable. It's now perfectly playable and you can actually have fun with the game now without raging at it all the time. It's wonderful. The first thing the patch is obviously doing is prepping the rent-a-server application on console that EA is sort of putting forward. So that's good. I'm very much looking forward to the rental service so I can rent a server and sort of, Carg Island 24/7 rush, just casually. I don't know. But we'll see what happens. Whether I rent a server or not, it depends entirely upon how much it costs. If it's a reasonable price, I'd be quite happy to rent a server called the Soaring Eagle Banter Bus. But I mean, we'll see what happens on that one. I mean, as I said, it all depends on the price. If EA decides to be pricks and prices it at £120 million a month, then we're all screwed. But if they charge £2 to £5 a month or something like that, I'm perfectly happy to rent a server, at least on a temporary basis, while I'm still playing the game. So that's a good thing. Let's get into the general gameplay fixes that they are implementing. First of all, the players will no longer take random fall damage. This is excellent. I don't know if you know this, but on Operation Metro, you can climb over a fence and take 20 million % damage and die, and suicide, especially if you're being shot at. If you are jumping over a 2-foot ledge, you can sometimes commit suicide for no apparent reason. That's not going to happen anymore, according to the patch notes, which is excellent. I'm very happy. Players will also get up from prone better and faster, which means you won't freeze when you're trying to get up from prone and trying to avoid player gunshots. Both of these things basically means that it's a lot easier for me to get away from people who are shooting at me, which is always a good thing. It's always nice to be able to run away from crap. The effects of suppression are being increased, and the effectiveness of the suppression resist spec and also the explosive resist spec, they're both being increased, along with the sort of to counteract the increase in suppression effect that's going to be coming with the new patch. Switching weapons is also going to be faster, which is kind of interesting. I suspect this is mainly going to benefit people who are using the recon class and things like that, but it will benefit me as well. But we'll just have to wait and see on how much faster. Oh my god, freaking USAS! Speaking of the USAS, the USAS frags is finally being nerfed in the new patch, which is excellent. What else is there? Vehicle fixes. The laser guided missiles and the flares are the main things that are being tweaked here. The laser guided missiles will now be distracted by flares, which I don't know whether that's how that's going to work out. I don't know whether this is going to be an entirely useful fix, but if it's anything like the full game, it will still be incredibly hit and miss. But hopefully, the laser guided missiles against aircraft will be 100% accurate, but the flares will distract them now. Because what previously happened, of course, is that it would be complete luck, and if the javelin hit you, you're completely screwed, and basically your chopper's going down. One hit kill, one hit destroy. And I think that's a bit overpowered, if you ask me. But that's being nerfed now, which is always a good thing. Flares are also being tweaked a little bit. They're not going to break lock-on, they're just going to break the missiles now, which is going to bring a incredibly different element in terms of do you use ECM or do you use flares, and it's also going to bring differences in how you use flares and how you time your flares. It's going to make a significant difference there, which is exciting because it's always exciting to have something new to learn in terms of flares and things like that. Gunners will have their flares reload slower now, apparently, and chopper pilots' flares will reload quicker than they did before, which is a very interesting change. I'm not really quite sure what to make of that, but we'll see. AA missiles will no longer kill the pilot instead of the vehicle. Thank God for that. The number of times I've been tweeting at Battlefield, asking them why the hell is it that every time I'm in a jet, you claim you nerfed Stingers, but you clearly haven't. They suck because it wouldn't do anything to the vehicle, but it would kill me. That was incredibly frustrating, and I had several rants at the Battlefield on the Battlefield Twitter page about that, and they are listening to me. It's all me, guys. It's all me. Don't you worry about that. Igla and Stingers now lock on much more quickly and disable an aircraft in one hit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Yeah, Igla and Stinger missiles have a significantly reduced range, according to DICE, but they will disable an attack aircraft in one hit. I don't really know what to make of this, to be honest. I mean, this is kind of a counteract to the fact that below radar, the permanent spec that you unlock at some point in all aircraft. I've unlocked it for all aircraft, so, it doesn't really affect me in terms of unlocking it. But that spec will now affect Stingers, Iglas, and Javelins now, which I think is excellent. I think that this change here, this tweak that I just said to do with making Iglas and Stingers a one-hit disable, that's kind of to counteract the kind of increase, the buff, if you will, to the below radar spec that you get on vehicles, the permanent specs. So that's a good thing. I'm very, very excited about that because I always said that below radar should affect Stingers and Iglas, but the Stingers and Iglas should be a one-hit disable because and also I kind of think the reduced range is a good thing. I'm sure you will know that you can lock on to choppers from like a mile away with a Stinger. That's unrealistic. Stingers are a close range anti-aircraft solution. They shouldn't do that. It's just fake. It is fake. So that's a very good change. I'm very happy with that change in general. A lot of you will know that I love flying my choppers, and I think this is overall going to benefit. If aircraft now, if you crash into an enemy chopper, both vehicles will now be destroyed. I think that's a bit bad, if I'm honest. I think if a jet crashes into a chopper, it's never the chopper's fault. It's always the jet's fault. I think the jet should blow up, but not the helicopter. But we'll see how this works. I don't know how well the change is gonna operate, but obviously, because I haven't played on the patch is being launched on Tuesday, March 27th. So it's kind of interesting. We'll see what happens on that front. But I'm very interested to see how this change works out. There are a couple of other minor tweaks and buffs to the choppers. The Mi-28 is being buffed. Buff, of course, means making something better. Nerf means making something worse. That's just terminology that you should know because I'm about to go through weapons and things, and that will help if you understand what the hell I'm saying. The Mi-28, in terms of maneuverability and in terms of the rocket accuracy, is now being brought into line with the Viper, which is good because the Havoc at the moment is a bit poor, to say the least. The MAV is being nerfed. If you crash into a soldier, my understanding of it, considering that before if you crash into someone with MAV, the kill feed just said kill. Now apparently it's going to say MAV. They say that, which kind of indicates to me that the MAV you will still be able to roadkill, but at least according to the actual patch notes, if you crash into a soldier or a vehicle, whether it kills them or not, I'm not too sure on that change at least. It will destroy the MAV in the process, and I'm very happy. I'm very happy with that change. You can also no longer use the MAV as an elevator. It's now impossible, so I'm very, very happy with the changes that have been made on that front. Weapons are being tweaked greatly. I mean, the extended mags, moving on, extended mags are being added to the Asphalt, and in terms of other weapons, they're all being tweaked through the use of accessory tweaks. And there are a lot of specifics, but I won't go into them because it's going to take me forever to go into the specifics of the patch notes in terms of the accessories. But basically, here's the lowdown. Bipod getting buffed, heavy barrel getting buffed, IRNV getting buffed, foregrip getting nerfed, laser sight being buffed, foot suppressor being nerfed, flash suppressor buffed. That's what's going on. If you really didn't catch that, you can listen to it again by rewinding and liking the video. I'm just kidding, you just rewind the video. You can like it if you want it. Like it if you like it, by all means. Dislike if you don't, I don't care. But let me go on. Let me move on because otherwise I'm going to be here forever. The C4 will no longer be detonatable after a player respawned. Thank freaking God for that change. And claymores can now kill people from light jeeps. We'll just have to wait and see on that change. Actually, that's the gist. That's the gist. I don't really know how that's going to work. It'll be interesting to see what happens, but I'm not too sure about that change. I have to be honest. I'm not too sure, but you know, it's just going to be a support class anti-tank button against light vehicles. I'm not very happy, but we'll see. I mean, maybe it'll be excellent, and maybe it's the most innovative thing that's ever been done in a shooter. Although that's not very difficult because you know you're kind of competing against Call of Duty, which is, as we know, a piece of junk. Moving on from that, the M224, aka the mortar, will no longer be able to be deployed in your spawn behind an area which is inaccessible to the opposing team. Yes, no more mortar spam. Well, there will be mortar spam, but you will be able to kill them without sort of counter mortaring. So that's excellent. I'm very happy. Anti-aliasing is now an option that you can turn off on PS3, and apparently disabling them reduces input lag. As far as I can tell, anti-aliasing is just a graphical thing in Battlefield 3. It can have other uses, I think, in other applications, but at least in Battlefield 3, it's just a visual thing. So, you know, I'd easily take competitibility. That's a word that I just made up. I'd easily take how competitive one is in terms of, you know, can you aim at a person accurately, etc. I'd easily take that over anything else. You know, I'd easily take that over graphical beauty. So I'm very happy that's a change that's going to be made. Overall, I'm a bit disappointed that there's no outright input lag fix, but I'm suffering much less since I found game mode on my TV. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. It's just a standard thing on Sharky on Back to Karkin. It's nothing too special. I have some better gameplays on my hard drive, but I'm saving them for a later date. I'll probably post another video today, but it's not going to be a straight up gameplay commentary. It'll be kind of to do with the graphical side of things. So until next time, guys, take care. Goodbye.